There are a couple of questions you can ask to motivate your employees who may not be living up to their potential. You sense the frustration. They sense the frustration. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, but nobody wants to address it. And I think that's where the one-on-one coaching sessions should happen. I try to do these once a quarter with my employees. It's their chance to talk, and it's my chance to listen. But if I'm in a situation where I feel like someone isn't living up to their potential, the reality becomes some of the questions that will tease out the information better than others are using the scale of 1 to 10 structure. Paul, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you are fully engaged, you're hitting the ball out of the ballpark, all cylinders are rolling, where would you put yourself right now? And usually the answer will be probably a 7 or an 8. And I'll say, okay, well, why are you a 7? Well, I'm a 7 because of blah, blah, blah. Okay, what would make you a 10? Paul, what would make me a 10, honestly, is if I could. And all of a sudden, it all comes out. By putting it on that scale of 1 to 10, it really does help. Another question I like to ask employees is, how do you think people would answer the question, give me 3 adjectives to describe Paul Falcone? And put your name in there. And what do you think people are saying? Be as honest as you can. Give me those adjectives. Yet another example. If people had to finish the sentence, oh yeah, I know Paul Falcone, he's, right, what are they saying? What's that last part of the sentence look like and feel like? And if they are in an individual contributor role, these questions work. If they're in a supervisory or management role, there's another question I ask them. Would you want to work for you? And when I ask them that question, they're like, well, geez, the eyes go up to the left. They laugh a little bit. They're a little uncomfortable. And I don't know, sometimes. It's like, okay, think about your best boss. What did that person do for you? Who were they for you? And how do you give that forward? How do you pay it forward? What would that look like in reality if you were able to become that best boss for your own people on your team? Those kinds of conversations are self-awareness conversations. How many of those have you had in your career with your boss? Give me a second. My guess is probably 0. How would you respond if a boss met with you and said, Paul, I want to talk to you about your own professional and career development. Let's kind of go through this little exercise. I want to see how you're feeling about this. Most people would say, oh my gosh, I never had a boss that took that level of interest in me. It wasn't asking me about my work, wasn't asking me about the company, it was asking me about me and my professional and my career interests and how I can grow and develop in my career. You become their best boss automatically. These are not hard lessons. They just, again, miss awareness with many managers out there because we're all working managers these days, right? Corporate America has gotten rid of a lot of those middle-level managers. We all work hands-on and manage at the same time. When you put it together, there isn't enough time. But what I will tell you is this. When you talk about a high return on your investment, a meeting like that with your employees once a quarter for 30 minutes, you'll become a god. You really will. No one leaves a really, really good boss. No one leaves a boss who's selfless, who sets role model example behavior, who puts his or her needs behind those of their own employees. You become that boss, you will find that so many of your problems will go away because your people are focusing on achievements and accomplishments, and you'll have stability on your team, and they'll actually start having some fun. So I really think when you think about how to become that coach and what those questions should feel like, find a way for them to motivate themselves, and I think you're going to go a lot further in this and you're going to get much better results than maybe you've gotten in the past.